Hey everyone, hope everyone's having a great day. I wanted to share with you real quick this simple and easy to use Excel spreadsheet. It's actually a Google Sheet, but same difference. This helps you to look at your numbers on a weekly or a monthly basis at a glance with a little bit more accuracy. Now, first and foremost, I have to say that this is not meant to replace any accounting software or any apps that you may already use. I'm also not an accountant, so I do recommend that you speak to your accountant for your own tax obligations. Um, so with that said, let's move on. I am not an accountant. So the way this is set up is just simply your source of income, your mileage, and your expenses. And all you have to focus on is whatever is colored in green. Everything else will auto calculate. So we're just going to jump in and get started. So we're going to start with Lyft, and that's 1594.98. And we did 122 rides this week. Now, if you'll notice here before we go any further, it says week of June 1st to June 9th. So the first actually fell on a Saturday. So instead of having a 7 day week, this is showing as a 9 day week. I believe like 350 or $375 of the total amount that I'm about to put in actually came from those first 2 days. That should have been a separate week, but because I like to make sure all of my numbers stay within the month that I actually earned them, that's why it's showing this way. So just keep that in mind. There's about 350, $375 more than we actually made for the 7 day week, if that makes sense. All right, so Spark, we did $234.78. With Uber, we did $579.60. And with Uber, we did 37 rides. And I'll explain why I'm only tracking the rides here for Uber and Lyft in a moment. For Roadie, I did 1631, and Doordash, I did 13. And that's it. That is everything that we have for the week as far as income goes. So you can see down here, it's calculating our total revenue. For the moment, you can ignore tax because we haven't plugged in our mileage yet. So let's go ahead and jump over into our mileage. Our mileage is 42,854 to start, and the end was 44,872. So we have a total of 2,018 miles for the week. So now it calculated our mileage tax credit. And what it's doing is it's just simply taking the mileage times the 67 cents credit that we actually get from the IRS. Now, keep in mind, that's as of the time of this recording. That does change from time to time or year to year. So be sure to always go back and check that. So based on the current numbers, our tax obligation for this week is $325.98. Now, we'll come over here and we're going to start looking at our fuel expenses. Now, you'll notice this number keeps changing, and that's okay. It's going to change for a reason because it's going to remove all these expenses. So we had $187.03 in fuel. We did not do any oil changes, but this week there was the buy one, get one free on the fuel injector cleaners that I really like to use. So I decided to go ahead and buy 10 of them. Buy one, get one free. If you only pay for five and get 10, I'll take it. But it also calculated our repair and replacement fund. Now, what this is simply the miles that you drove for the week times 7 cents. Now, you can go as high as 10 cents. I'm just putting 7 cents here. So you can change this however you want. If you clicked on that and you backspaced and put a 1 there, that would be 10 cents. And you can see the number changes. But I'm going to go back and put that back to 7 cents. All right. Now, when we come on this side, what you're going to see here is, remember, over here was your total revenue, your mileage credit, and then the tax obligation. This right here is simply your revenue minus your tax obligation. So that's your revenue post-tax. I don't call that income just simply because you really shouldn't consider that your income because you have these other expenses as well. So now at a glance, we can see, okay, our total revenue post-tax is $2,100. But we really should be also setting aside this 141 and considering that we spent this money for the week. So before you go any further, you already know that you need to take $325.98, put that into a tax savings account, and $141.26 and put that into a repair and replacement fund for major repairs you might have to do on your vehicle later on. What I'm not doing here is I'm not putting in a car payment, because if you're looking at this weekly, but you only make monthly car payments, it may not be viable for what we're looking at today, but you can use this on a monthly or a weekly basis. And if you're in the gig economy, it's not a bad thing to make a payment on your vehicle every week or every other week to get it paid off as soon as possible. So moving on from that, we also have our rate per mile. Now, earlier I said I'll explain why I do only track the Uber and Lyft. I want to know how much I'm making on a ride for Uber and Lyft, and I don't worry about the other ones because with Spark, I don't take anything under really like $15. Sometimes I'll take a $12 one if it can take me where I want to go. Roadie is just simply filler work where I'm grabbing a pharmacy order to deliver while I'm on my way to a Spark or something like that. And Doordash is just on my way home. If there's this one little spot, if I pass it and it's on fire, I'll turn it on. Or if I'm sitting doing Spark and I miss an hour round robin, I'll turn it on, something like that. But I don't really focus on these at all because it's all filler work. So my rate per mile for the week, the goal is to make sure that every single mile I drive is $1. Well, this week it was $1.21, so that's a win. My per ride, and the reason why these say BT is because this is the gross number. It's before tax. I'm comparing it to this top line revenue number. I want to make sure I always have at least $10 per ride on average for my Uber and my Lyft. And this week we did $15. So we have a win on our rate per mile for this week. We have a win on our rate per ride for the week. We did hit our stretch goal for the week. And in fact, our net income for this week is almost right at our minimum goal for gross. So this week was definitely a win. The 2 extra days definitely did help that. So our two pocket number for this week is $1,720. And what that is your gross number minus your tax obligation minus all of these expenses gives you this number. So just by filling in these green areas, guys, this is the results you're going to get. I hope this is helpful for you. There is a link in the description so you can download this sheet. The one that you're going to download is actually going to say know your numbers. And I highly recommend that you immediately download it and save another copy of it. So if you accidentally mess up the formulas, you can go back and use the master again. So with that, guys, I hope it's helpful. It was a pleasure chatting with you about this. And please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you wouldn't mind. Have a great day.